Good evening. You are just in time for news tonight here on TV 47. I hope you've had a fantastic day so far. We've got a lot lined up for you today, but remember you can interact with us at TV 47 Kenya across all social media platforms. But first, let's take a look at the highlights. Tonight, 2 more people succumb to burn injuries in Siaya County Referral Hospital as tens others continue to receive treatment following the fuel tanker tragedy. Also tonight, a woman returns home in Murang'a after 27 years. She left as a girl and came back as a mother of 5. Plus, tonight, we bring you up close with the Kiamba MP-elect Njogona Wanjiko. Welcome to the broadcast, and Wairimo is our sign language interpreter. I am Muthoni Minor. Starting off, the death toll from the Siaya tanker tragedy is now at 19. This is after 2 people succumbed while receiving treatment at the Siaya County Referral Hospital. The county's Governor Cornel Rasanga says the hospital is having challenges in terms of resources in treating the fire tragedy patients.
26 people with varying degrees of burns continue to receive treatment in different hospitals of Siaya County. 20 of them are admitted at Siaya County Referral Hospital, 5 are at Yala Sub-County Hospital, and 1 is receiving treatment at Inuka Hospital. The county's governor says the referral hospital is experiencing challenges in treating the patients caught up in the inferno that has now claimed the lives of 19 people.
We have been outstretched. The county government cannot manage to sustain the treatment of those who are there. Most of the burns have affected the skin, and it means that without the skin there is no life. And so we seriously need support. Through the disaster committee, we are appealing to the bodies that have been assisting us, and even individuals. If you are somebody from Siaya out there, please know that we have outstretched whatever we had, and we seriously need your help so that we can manage to treat the few who have remained in the hospital, or else it will not be a very easy thing for us.
The government is already processing the DNA samples collected on Tuesday from relatives of those who died in the tragedy. Results are expected to be out in 2 weeks.
We are waiving all hospital bills for the accident victims. We are also supporting the bereaved families with burial expenses and some token.
Following the incident, 32 people were rushed to hospitals for treatment. 6 of them have died while receiving treatment. Meanwhile, Malanga residents in Siaya County have expressed fear that more people could have perished following the tanker fire tragedy. The accident involving the lorry that was transporting fuel took place along the Kisumu-Busia highway. A majority of those who were caught up in the inferno rushed to the scene of the accident to siphon fuel from the tanker. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Our heartfelt condolences to the families of those affected. Now, it is the second day of the celebrations of Eid al-Adha in the Islamic calendar. Muslims in Mombasa County convened for prayers at the Ronald Ngala grounds together with the former Chief Khathi Hamad Kasim and Mvita MP Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir. Later, the Muslim community joined the MP together with other political leaders for celebrations where the coast region politics took center stage, with the trajectory of Mombasa politics taking center stage. Mariam Macharo reports.
Wednesday morning, Muslims gathered for the Eid prayers at the Ronald Ngala grounds. before embarking on celebrations with political leaders from across the country. The political pot that was already simmering came to a boil at this hall, starting with Mvita Member of Parliament Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir hinting at his interest in inheriting Governor 001's throne.
Because we have been able to give the right ideologies for this country. Tumekuwa na zile ambao kwamba ni sera bora. Tumekuwa na zile ambao kwamba ni sera zenye kufaa. Kwa hivyo ikiwa itawezekana hata mwezi mmoja isipite, najua tunakaa chini, mzee tunakaa naye na wewe tunakaa, Oparanya na kila mmoja ambaye kwamba nataka, tutaweza kuafikiana, and our party is democratic, ili we come up with a proper movement so that we tuweze kuikomboa hii nchi yetu ikifika mwaka 2022.
On the other hand, knowing too well that it is his last term in office, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho made sure that this was not his last lap in the political marathon.
Let it be known, mwaka 2022, kama sio Wycliffe Oparanya ni Hassan Joho. Kama si Hassan Joho ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Kama si Raila Amolo Odinga ni Hassan Joho. Kwa sababu sisi kama Waislamu tutatafuta mtu ama watu ambao tutakuwa washirika. Hatuwezi kubebwa kama wafuasi miaka nenda miaka rudi.
It would not be a complete political pot without jibes at political opponents. The Muslim community rallied to pick a leader from the community and one who has made an effort in improving the lives of Kenyans.
Afadhali ungeleta hiyo Wilbaro 2013. But you cannot be where you are, enjoy government, make huge deals, large amounts of money, buy yourself all the things you want to buy, houses, palaces, helicopters, ndeges, and then you come back after 2013, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, Wilbaro. How?
Wamekuwa serikalini mwaka 9 na nakuja kuambia Waislamu juzi hapa, mkinichagua nitawafanyia hii, nitawafanyia kile, nitawafanyia hivi. Mbona usiwafanyie Waislamu sasa hivi? Kwa sababu sasa uko serikalini. Mbona usiwasaidie Waislamu? Mbona unaongoja paka uchaguliwe na sasa hivi uko na mamlaka, uko na authority ya kusaidia Waislamu?
Mheshimiwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta alitupa Najib Balala, akatupatia Adan Mohamed, akatupatia Mheshimiwa Amina Mohamed ambaye yuko pale, na sasa kuna Meja Badi. Tunamuuliza yule Nyale ambaye amesahau, ni Muislamu gani aliyetuchagulia katika upande wake, ama yule aliyetoka Pwani ambaye alitupa katika wizara? Kwa hivyo sisi hatutapelekwa na public relation. Tunataka tuone action zikifanyika, hakutufanyia hata wakati mmoja.
After all was said and done, it is now left to the residents of Mombasa and the coastal region to decide where the coast shall sit, in either being a partner in the presidential pie or just spectators, as Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho cared to elaborate. Mariam Macharo, TV47, Mombasa County.
Thank you, Macharo, for that report. Now, still in the coastal region, ODM leader Raila Odinga has called for the raising of the national debt ceiling to help the government channel more money to the grassroots. Raila was speaking in Mombasa during the Eid al-Adha celebrations, where he said small businesses constitute the artery of Kenyan economy. And while speaking in Machakos County, his political opponent, Deputy President William Ruto, insisted on the bottom-up economy model, saying millions of unemployed youths will continue to be locked out.
Jipanga sio kugawana mamlaka, sio kugawana vyeo, kubadilisha uchumi ndio kila mtu aweke pesa yake kwa mfuko.
Political nemesis Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga seem to agree that more money needs to go to the people in the grassroots. And as DP Ruto calls it the bottom-up approach, his arch-rival Raila Odinga is yet to give it a name.
Sisi tumesema tunataka vijana waanzishe biashara yao na kina mama waanzishe biashara yao wao vile vile.
Speaking in Machakos County after meeting small business owners, Deputy President William Ruto further touted his economic blueprint in a bid to grow his political influence. He promised his full support for the small businesses if elected as president.
Na ndio tunasema lazima tubadilishe hii mjadala ili badala ya kuongelea mambo ya viongozi pia tuongee mambo ya wananchi.
Both leaders have shown the will to stand with the youth and small businesses in the country once elected to power in 2022. The youth and women make up the biggest electoral bloc. For TV47, I'm Kaindo Stefan.
Moving on, a family from Kamwiru village in Kiharo, Murang'a County is celebrating their daughter who returned home after vanishing for 27 years. The family, which had buried another lady in Nyeri 15 years ago, thinking it's their kin, was thrown into a state of confusion after their prodigal daughter showed up, accompanied by her 5 children and 2 grandchildren. Hannah Wangari told her family that she had been married off in Limuru and has been looking for fare back home.
Susan Nyabura and Joseph Mwagi, the elderly parents of Hannah Wangari, could not hold back their tears after their prodigal daughter returned home 27 years after vanishing when she was barely 15 years old. Wangari retraced back her home in Kamwiru village in Kiharo, accompanied by her 5 children and 2 grandchildren. Wangari told her kins that she got employed as a house help in Limuru before getting married and establishing a family. She later parted ways with her lover. Wangari says that she has been looking for bus fare back home with no success until Tuesday evening when she made her way back home.
Yani alikuwa sagasi wake ndio alimuona. Sasa kumuona sasa alikuja tu na bio kuniambia niende. Ati niende nione vile aliona. Nikamuuliza kwani uliona nini? Akaniambia hapana, wewe kuja tuone. Nilikuja uone vile niliona. Sasa mimi nilipotoka kwenda kuona, nikaona ni yule mtoto wetu alikuwa anapotea. Nikafurahi sana. Na sasa nikimuona nilisema sasa kuna senge ilikuwa hapa kwa nini? Kwa Kiugo. Nikasema itolewe sasa. Ichinjwe mara moja ndio tufurahie. Mtoto wetu alikuja.
Wangari's father say the search for her daughter reached a dead end 15 years ago when they heard on the radio that a lady was severely sick at the Madhari hospital and she needed to get in touch with her family. The name of the lady matched that of Wangari as well as her parents' names. The lady later died and was buried in Nyeri, and the curtains fell on the hope of getting Wangari back home alive. After news broke out that Wangari had returned home, villagers streamed in to see a lady whom they thought they had buried 15 years ago. Wangari's uncle slaughtered a goat and prepared a homecoming party for a daughter long forgotten.
Furahi na tumeshukuru Mungu juu yeye anajua mipango yote. Kwa hivyo tuko na furaha sana akina wamama na akina watoto wa kijiji hiki. Kwa hivyo tumemkaribisha na Mungu awe pamoja naye.
Murang'a residents are traveling from villages far and wide to get a glimpse of Wangari 27 years later and join the family in celebrations for a daughter who remembered that home is where the heart is. Mwangi Maina, TV47.
It is indeed such a joyous moment as Hannah Wangari finally got to reunite with her family. Now, moving on, Kenya could bury her electricity insufficiency woes for good by 2036, with plans to incorporate nuclear power into the energy mix fast gaining momentum. According to the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency CEO Collins Juma, the phased introduction of nuclear energy into the grid will see an a nuclear power plant put up by 2027 amid safety concerns. Engineer Juma was speaking during the launch of a 3-day mentorship program in Kabarak, Nakuru County, which was attended by more than 40 students seeking to specialize in STEM subjects.
Is on the rise. The number of students enrolling in STEM is declining, and failure in completing degrees is also getting higher. Thus, as a ministry, we will support STEM to address the gap of scientists and engineers and other professionals in scientific fields by having a suitable STEM mentorship program spearheaded by New Pen.
Now that report takes us for a short break. We will be right back with more. Just stay with us.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake?
Welcome back. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta on Wednesday visited the multi-agency team of Kenyan security officers undertaking a joint operational training in Boni Forest, Lamu County. The field training exercise is part of a broad whole-of-government approach to the delivery of security services by leveraging on interoperability of Kenya's security assets. The fix, which is coordinated by the Kenya Defence Forces, brings together troops from the different security formations in the country, among them Kenya Police Service, National Youth Service, Kenya Wildlife Service, Kenya Forest Service, and Kenya Coast Guard, with a view of attaining high levels of operational efficiency at the camp. The president, who was accompanied by Defence CS Dr. Monica Juma, witnessed drills of officers who've been training for 3 weeks and taken on a guided tour by Chief of Defence Forces General General Robert Kifoshi. In his address to the officers, President Kenyatta said he was pleased by the training and noted that the multi-agency approach would help enhance the effectiveness of the country's security apparatus.
Ni kitu muhimu kwa vikosi mbalimbali kuwa zina uwezo kwanza ya kujuana, lakini la pili kushirikiana katika kazi ambazo wanatekeleza. Kwa hivyo mimi pia ningependa kuwapatia hongera kwa sababu ya vile mumeweza kufanya kazi kama vikosi mbalimbali za taifa hili letu la Kenya na mkaweza kukamilisha hii exercise mkiwa pamoja bila tatizo lolote, kumaanisha ya kwamba sisi wote ni walinzi kamilifu wa nchi hii yote na hakuna mtu ambaye hahitajiki kwa hii kazi ama hii jukumu ambalo tunaitekeleza.
Now, that was part of Uhuru's Boni Forest trip there. The president was accompanied by Defense CS Dr. Monica Juma, and he witnessed drills by officers who have been training for 3 weeks and taken on a guided tour by Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kifoshi. In his pleased training, where he was pleased by the training, he noted that the multi-agency approach would help enhance effectiveness of the country's security apparatus. Now, moving on, a former chairperson of Procuring Committee and Director of the Human Resource and Administration of IEBC, Celestine Ann Mbi, has told the selection panel in search of the 4 IEBC commissioners that IEBC allegedly breached the Constitution in 2010 by procuring election materials without following the law. Mbi also faulted the commission for delaying in testing of election kits. She attributed the delay to failure in technology when transmitting results. The selection panel today also interviewed former retired military Said and Dr. Salim Ndemo, who had a stint with the Public Service Commission some times back.
Asking you, there is no procurement can be done in any organization whatsoever without it coming to the tender committee, including your ballot paper, including your technology, where you use Saframorpho and you went to debate this. Are you telling this panel that this was bypassed? It was not done according to the Procurement Act?
I want to confirm to the panel that it did not come through the tender committee, which I was chairing that time.
So you are telling this panel and Kenyans as a whole that what was done was totally illegal?
I'm not saying it was illegal in terms of where it was procured, but you are aware that in IEBC we have cases in court.
You were able to study while working full-time at the commission?
Yes, madam, because it was a flexible kind of timetable.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then actually 6 months later,
yes,
on 30th of January 2009, you then received your Doctor of Philosophy in Business Administration.
Yes.
So that was a bit curious. I know the kind of effort and time and sweat that goes into preparing and getting a PhD.
Yes.
So I'm curious to know how you managed to get yours in 6 months.
Yes, madam. They had a very flexible timetable in the sense that it was even possible to almost do it simultaneously. but it had to be one after the other.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is while you're working?
Yes, this is while I was working.
We need to do things in a precision way. We need to have discipline, because majority of organizations, they lack a lot of discipline, and that's how they go down. For example, now, if you know that this is the head of a particular organization, then there is a chain of command from that head of organization downwards, that directions are coming from this particular entity going down.
Moving on, the judiciary will devolve small claims courts to additional parts of Nairobi and other regions from October, when 10 more courts will be rolled out. Chief Justice Martha Koome says the small claims court will simplify procedures, facilitate timely proceedings, and harness fairness at reasonable fees. Koome explained the small claims courts will enhance access and expeditious delivery of justice, as cases will only take 60 days, reduce the cost and time to hear and determine commercial disputes, and clear backlog of cases in magistrate courts. Koome spoke during the swearing-in ceremony of 2 more adjudicators who will serve at the small claims court in Milimani.
Objectives of the small claims are indeed threefold. One is to enhance access to and expeditious delivery of justice. 2 is to reduce the cost and time to hear and determine commercial disputes. And 3, to reduce the backlog in the magistrates' courts. The small claims court is actually a key driver of my own vision, which is social transformation through access to justice. The main objective of the court is to guarantee the right to access to justice as envisaged under Article 48 and 169 of the Constitution. The courts have a simplified procedure that facilitates timely disposal of proceedings. Those simplified procedures also harness fairness of process and allow litigants to be the drivers of their own cases, because cases take only 60 days. So there is no...
Now on to Trans Nzoia County, where Governor Patrick Kayemba has revealed that over 1,100 teenage girls between the age of 12 years and 19 years old have been impregnated in his county in the last 6 months. Boniface Barasa has the details.
Speaking when he flagged off beneficiaries of Equity Foundation Wings to Fly scholarship program alongside Equity Group CEO Dr. James Mwangi at Kitale School, Governor Patrick Kayemba said that the trend of teenage girls getting pregnant is shocking.
From the Ministry of Education, we have over 1,100 teenagers between the ages of 12 and 19 who have become pregnant in the last 6 months. From the records in my hospitals, the teenagers who have sought prenatal services are 11,000. This is shocking, extremely shocking. We need to wake up and face this challenge once and for all.
Initially, the county recorded over 11,000 teen pregnancies. Majority of them are reported to be seeking antenatal care from Kitale County Referral Hospital. At the same time, Equity Group CEO Dr. James Mwangi lauded the government initiative of free secondary education, saying it enables many children transit to secondary schools regardless of their status.
I've been pestering the president. Hey, Your Excellency, as you commission these scholarships, what happens to the other 93 that has been left? The government has been very responsive. We have seen them move with speed and make day secondary schools free. That is a really great effort by our government to ensure no child is left behind.
71 children from poor families benefited from the initiative across the county.
The nominees who are going to be flagged off today, that the best that they can do in appreciation that to this that you are doing is for them to go and work very hard. And we are appealing to all other stakeholders to borrow a leaf from Equity Bank.
Also in Bungoma County, a total of 246 people secured their scholarship.
The scholarships will cater for tuition and boarding fees, books, uniform and transport to and from school, as well as pocket money for the 4 years of secondary school.
Despite all that effort, kuna watoto wengi wanataka usaidizi lakini haipatikani. I want to challenge Kenyans from wherever they are. Na wewe bariki mtoto mmoja ambaye hajabahatika.
Other counties that benefited from the scholarship today are Nandi and Uasin Gishu. Onfas Barasa, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Thank you, Baraza, for that intricating report. Now it's time to take yet another short break. We will be right back with more. Do stay with us.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njobona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not find a white-collar job. I had done a course in IT. I looked for jobs everywhere and I could not find one. So I had a lot of time in my hands, and I had an idea to do crochet.
So we have a WhatsApp group. There are about 3 WhatsApp groups. They are actually full. We've been sharing information, consulting, and just encouraging each other But surprisingly, the challenges we've been experiencing are similar. So we just try to find a way of managing our challenges. Then all of a sudden there's a challenge coming up, and that is organized by the Hazina Institute.
We realized that many people had lost their jobs. Some businesses were downsizing or closing, and therefore people were at home. Plus,
welcome back to News Tonight. Now, a few months ago, the name John Njuguna Wanjiku did not ring any bells in many Kenyans, let alone voters and residents of Kiambaa constituency. His decision to throw his hat in the ring for Kiambaa parliamentary by-election contest would have been scoffed at by those that did not know him. Yet somehow, Wanjiku, who had the blessings of Deputy President William Ruto, defied all odds to become Kiambaa's MP-elect, beating Jubilee's Kareri Njama in another ignominy of the president's party in his backyard. Our reporter Joash Onsare spent the day with the Kiambaa MP-elect at his Gatono home, where the international relations graduate opened up on his political journey, including a near-death experience in the hands of his kidnappers months to the ballot day.
Na mtazamaji, kumekuwa na shughuli nyingi katika eneo bunge la Kiambaa. Kampeni zilishika kasi, wagombezi 8 wakajitokeza kushiriki katika uchaguzi huo, na vile vile uchaguzi huu ukafanyika tarehe 15 na mshindi akatangazwa tarehe 16. Na mtazamaji, siku ya leo niko na fursa kubwa zaidi kuweza kuzungumza na mmoja wa wale ambao waliweza kushiriki katika uchaguzi huo, si mwingine bali ni John Njuguna Wanjiku. Na moja kwa moja, hebu tusikilize huyu John Njuguna Wanjiku ni nani. Na mheshimiwa, asante sana kwa kutupa hii fursa tuzungumze nawe. Labda utuambie huyu Njuguna Wanjiku ni nani?
Kwa majina ni John Njuguna Wanjiku, born and raised huku kwetu Katono. This is where I've been born. This is where I've been brought up. Nikaenda shule Gotv Primary School. Nikamaliza, nikaenda Thigio Boys, nikamaliza, nikaingia Kemu. Nashukuru Mungu sana. Yangu ni kushukuru watu wa Kiambaa. Katono iko ward inaitwa Shianda ward. Tuko na ward 5 katika Kiambaa constituency. One of them is Shianda, we have Moshadha, we have Karori, and we have Dendero and Kihara. Lakini sana sasa mahali nimezaliwa na nikalelewa ni Shianda ward. Kwa hivyo huyo ni kijana mdogo, niko na I'm a youth, niko na miaka 36 years old. Na nashukuru Mungu niko na bibi na watoto 2. Huyo ndio John Njuguna.
Labda would you say that John Njuguna is the real definition of the hustler?
I can comfortably say that it depends with your interpretation of what is the hustler. But I think from the inception, from how I've been raised, going through so many tough things, been brought up by a single mother. I've been raised in an area that it's not well developed. Going to primary school that is 5 kilometers away. Having the way I've been raised is that I had to do a lot of work, especially because my mom passed on 2010. Then I had to come up with ways and means of surviving, paying for my own school fees. That's how I engaged myself in a small business. Yenye umesikia huko sana inaitwa biashara ya Mara. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nafanya, nanunua kule Kenchik. Kenchik is one of the biggest company that deal with chickens. Before walikuwa wanachinja, wanatupa Mara. But after sometimes they realized that it can be productive. We started buying from them. Then tunaleta huku kwetu, tunatengeneza, tunauza kwa hizi mashamba za majani. And God has been faithful from there. So I'm a little definition of a hustler.
Labda unataka kusema kwamba wewe ulikuwa unauza imetura, hii tunapata pale, unapata imepikwa vizuri, unakula tu na...
No, it is quite different.
Yes.
Mara ni matumbo ya kuku. So hii mitura tunapata pale ni nyama ama zile za intestines za mbuzi na ng'ombe. But mara nile ya kuku, you know, it's too tiny such that hawezi weka nyama ingine ndani. So the only thing you can do is to boil them, and then after you boil them, then you can be able, you know, to go and sell, because you have to sell when it is a bit cooked, well done, so that at least when you take it to the people, haitakuwa kazi mingi pia kwao na pia isiharibike.
So tukisema kwamba hivi sasa ukapata hivyo vitu, utarudi pale uendelee kuuza?
Mungu naye ni mwaminifu, because that was the starting point. That's why we started. After that, then I started engaging in the business of import. But I'm a businessman, you know, from the inception. That is how I've been brought up. My mom was also a small business person, mtu wa soko. Then soko ikaharibika, akaingia kuchuna kahawa. Then after kuchuna kahawa, akagonjeka, akapass 2010. Kwa hivyo mimi ni mtu wa biashara, nikatoka hapo nikaajiliwa na Barclays Bank, nikafanya kazi 1 year. Ikanishinda, nikaingia biashara. That's why I started import and export. Biashara ya kuimport, you know, spare parts za magari, kuleta nchini. Kutoka hapo nika graduate, nikaenda kwa gari. But I'm still in connections with all those people that were doing business here at Mara now, those days.
Na sasa labda nikuulize, kuna wengi ambao wanasema kwamba wewe Njuguna Wanjiku ukuwa kiongozi, ukuwa yule ambaye ni mwaniaji bora, lakini ulikuwa kwenye chama bora. Labda utuambie vipi?
Ya kwamba, you know, it is my first time to vie for the member of parliament seat. I have not participated in active politics, especially when I'm the candidate. But kwa siku mingi nimekuwa kwa siasa pia. Tukiongozwa na 2013, I participated in a TNA URP merger and election, mahali ambapo tulikuwa tunapigia mbunge mwenye alikuwa campaign. After that 2017 nikaondoka, nikaingia chama Paul Koinange. I was the chief campaigner. So after that nikatoka nikaingia Jubilee. Jubilee nikakuwa youth leader wa chama cha Jubilee Kiambu County. So nimekuwa in active politics, lakini si ile ya mimi mwenyewe as a candidate. So I knew kuna where to, the pins to touch here and there. Then 2018, 2020 nikaanza mikakati kidogo because mimi ni kijana mdogo, so sitajatafuta hela. So ilikuwa inanichukua, inanigharimu nianze kujipanga pole. Kwa hivyo sikuwa nimesimama tena. Kwa hivyo ndio maana watu wanasema sikuwa najulikana, lakini kusema ukweli nimefanya mambo mengi katika Kiambaa constituency. Even when you call up leadership meetings, I used to participate. Public participations, I used to participate. Na nikajitokeza kwa wananchi, nikajipata nafasi na fursa wakati mbunge wetu alipoaga, na Mungu amlaze mahali pema peponi. Nikajitokeza, nikasema ya kwamba nahisi ya kwamba wakati wa vijana pia umefika. Because Kiambaa has been a very unique constituency. Tumekuwa na baba zetu ambao wamekuwa katika uongozi katika Kiambaa constituency. So nikapata nafasi, nikasema nijitolee, na ni historia leo. Mungu amefanya makuu, na Kiambaa wakaniaminia kula zao, and they gave me overwhelming support. You know, even with the intimidation that happened during the voting day, you know, chiefs using that platform to campaign, you know, public service, you know, public servants who are, you know, all over Kiambaa constituency, very strong people who are coming, who are around campaigning the police force. The Kiambaa people at the end of the day decided that, you know what, this is the guy that you want him to be our area member of parliament. So they entrusted me with their votes, which is something that I'm thanking God for. Yeah, and I'm also thanking the Kiambaa people. So wachanga tulipokuwa tukiwa wachanga tumeparticipate kwa kuchuna kahawa sana, majani lakini kahawa nimefanya kazi ya kuchuna kahawa sana, maana mamangu alikuwa anafanya kazi katika flower farms.
Labda tuzungumzie ile swala hivi majuzi ama kabla shughuli hii shike hapa Kiambaa ya uchaguzi huu, kulikuwepo na tetesi kwamba Njuguna Wanjiku amepanga njama ya kuweza kuwa kidnapped, na ikasemekana kwamba umepatikana pale Narok. Hebu tuambie kulikuwa vipi ndugu yangu?
Actually that time ilikuwa ni wakati the deputy president alikuwa anakuja huku kwetu Kiambaa constituency. We had invited him for a fund drive pale kawaida to help the border people. So that particular time, I think the area member of parliament, because he was in the national security, he felt, you know, threatened. Na akasikia ya kwamba hataki deputy president akiwa mrengo wa kieleweke, hakuwa nataka deputy president aingie katika Kiambaa constituency. So nilikuwa kati ya vijana ambao walikuwa wameongoza hayo mambo ya kumkaribisha naibu wa rais. So wakati huo ulifika, wakati huo ulifika, tukahakikisha ya kwamba polisi walinishika, wakanisimamisha, wakanionyesha mpaka vitambulisho zao, wakaniambia sisi ni ofisa wa polisi, tunaomba usimame. Nikasimama, nilikuwa kwa gari peke yangu. Haikuwa mchezo. Wakanishika, wakaniambia mkubwa wetu anataka kukuona, wakaniweka pingu, nilikuwa na laptops na pesa, wakachukua wakaweka kwa gari zao. Waliniumiza, walinipiga pia. Then wakanihofisha, they threatened me that you should not be participating in whatever you are doing, you are a very young man, stop this hustler nonsense. Nikamwambia, this is not a nonsense, it is what we believe in, it is the cause that we will die for. Then wakanienda, mwishoe story ilikuwa mrefu hapo, kuanzia saa 10 mpaka saa 8 usiku, wakanitupa Burnt Forest. Hata sio Narok, ni Burnt Forest, ukienda on your way to Kapsabet. Huko ndio walinitupa. Nikaripoti Eldoret Police Station, nikaripoti Kodo Police Station. Then after that nikakuja nikaripoti Kasarani, kwa sababu gari yangu tuliacha kwa barabara. So polisi walipoipata, wakapigiwa, wakatafuta, wakaipeleka Kasarani Police Station. So hiyo maneno bado iko na polisi. Nagojea waendelee na upelelezi kabisa.
Hivi sasa mheshimiwa, wewe sasa ni MP elect wa eneo bunge hili la Kiambaa. What is in store for the people of Kiambaa now?
I know I have a lot to do. The expectation is also very high. And I know that I have promised, and there are quite a number of things that I'm keen to ensuring that, we fulfill and we honor the promise that we have made to Kiambaa people. One of them being the TVET. If you go around Kiambaa, there are a lot of young people who don't have jobs, who don't have any meaningful thing that they are doing. And therefore, I feel like I have a responsibility and duty to ensure that, we start looking into their lives, about the youth empowerment. Our schools around, they're in another state. So we did need to do some few things here and there. It is only a period of 1 year. There are remaining projects that, Mheshimiwa had started. We also need to ensure that there is full, we complete those projects. Then there is also the issue of bursary, because, I'm a beneficiary, or I try to benefit from the bursary at that particular time. So I must ensure that, there is honesty and transparency in, giving out bursaries to the needy people, so they can also be able to, to move or to take their lives from one level to the other. There is also the issue of sports, engaging the young people in activities that, will keep them busy, so we can minimize the usage of drugs and alcohol within the Kiambaa constituency. So I'm looking forward towards working with the Kiambaa people. I'm even calling upon the, the competitors, our competitors that we are competing with. We are telling them that, at the end of the day, the Kiambaa people have decided. And for mine is to spread or to ask them, let us join hands together and do what we can do for Kiambaa, because we all needed this opportunity so that we can work for Kiambaa people, whether elected or not. We continue to do whatever we are doing to Kiambaa constituents and to our fellow Kiambaa people.
Njuguna Wanjiko, kuna watu wanasema kwamba masomo yako hawajui vizuri, labda waambie ulikuwa unafanya vipi ukiwa shuleni?
I was the head boy in Gotv Primary School, so they can trace me back. I was nikapewa what you call an invite to go to the Boys. Because of the school fees, I was not able to go. So for the first 2 years, I went to Tigoni Day. Then when I was in Form 3, I got a sponsor, someone who assisted me. I went to my dream school, which was the Boys, where I was nilikuwa nimeitwa. Then from there, I went to Kemu University. I did what you call the IR. It is transparent, it is there, it is in public domain. So I think it's only because hawajanijua before, but now because now there is a lot of interest coming up, it is there. They can be able to find every details about me.
Is 1 year enough for you to deliver for the people of Kiambaa?
It is a good starting point. Yes. It may not be enough, but it's a good starting point. And what we are saying is that we need to ensure that we put some foundation into whatever we want to complete. Even when the next government comes in, we shall ensure that at least we have started to plan accordingly, so that we can ensure within this 1 year we complete all the projects. And things like bursary, it's enough. We'll have an opportunity to issue bursaries to beneficiaries, who are the Kiambaa people. We should ensure also at the end of the day, you know, the youth empowerment, even spreading and giving hope to the young people and the young generation and telling them, you know what, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. As long as you can dream, as long as you have a vision, you can at the end of the day, you know, become whatever you want to be in this country. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to be, you know, even supported by in a way. We have had very good members of parliament who have been holding, who have been, you know, advising, and who have been walking the journey with me. So I really, I'm in safe hands. Yes. I can tell you, as far as Kiambaa is concerned, I'm in safe hands because I've never been an MP before. But right now I think I thank God because tuko na hiyo kazi na tuko na wabunge ambao wanatushika mkono na tutaendelea na kufanya hiyo kazi.
Watu wanasema kwamba utakuwa mbunge ambaye umetulia tu bungeni, uongei sana, kwa sababu watu wengi wanasema wewe ni mtulivu. Labda tuambie, unajua wakisema kwamba wewe ni mtulivu, ukifika pale bungeni ukiapishwa, labda utakuwa bado umetulia tu ama kutakuwa vipi?
Kutulia ni vizuri, maana unapotulia unasikiza. Ukiongea pia ni vizuri. Naambia wagoje tu. Nimekuwa katika campaign, nimekuwa nikiongea, nimekuwa nikiuza sera zangu kwa wananchi wa Kiambaa. Kwa hivyo sioni kama mimi ni mtu ambaye naweza shindwa na hiyo kibarua, na tumefika hapa. Wana Kiambaa wameamua, na katika siasa hakuna kushindwa. We are all winners because the moment amejitolea na kujipeana kwa wananchi, it is a very big step. It's a big thing. So yangu, what I can tell him is that tumemaliza maneno, Kiambaa imeamua, na tuko na muda wa mwaka mmoja, and akuje tushikane tufanye kazi ambao wana Kiambaa wametuachia, na tukijiweka pia mikononi mwa Mungu tunajua he'll make a way. And you know, hii maneno yote imekuwa Mungu. God has been involved. And in any election there is always the number one mwenye atachukua kiti na kuna huyo mwingine. So it is unfortunate ya kwamba ama ni baraka pia he's on the other side, lakini mimi niko on the other side. Mine is to kumkaribisha akuje tushikane tufanye kazi.
Asante sana mheshimiwa kwa